There are three types of relationship. The first, one to one; second, one to many; third, many to many. One to one relationship. One to one relationship indicates that one specific records of a particular table has one and only one corresponding records in other table of database. For example, the relationship between one table and one person who is sitting over there. Another example, the relationship between a class teacher and class. If a class teacher has, because one teacher will be a class teacher of one class only. So here you can see this indicates that one specific record of a particular table has one and only one corresponding record in the other table of database. Do not get surprised as it is not new to us. A very common in our the day-to-day life examples. Think of the theater. How many people can sit in a chair? Obviously one. So one, then how many seat can be occupied by one person? Definitely one. So we can say that the relationship between chair and a person is one to one relationship. You can think of relationship between your class and class teacher or library and library card issued to the students. So you will definitely agree that any class in your school will have one and only one class teacher. At the same time, any teacher is assigned one and only one class to look after. So we can say that the class and class teacher is an example of one to one relationship. I hope you got it. I summarize. One to one relationship means if one record of a table is associated with the one record of another table. For example, the relationship between a class teacher and a class. Another example, the relationship between chair and a person who is sitting. Because one chair will be occupied by one person at a time. Okay. So that is one to one relationship. One to many relationship. The most common type of relationship between the table is one to many relationship. In this type of relationship, one specific record of a particular table may have many corresponding records in the other related table of the database. Means one specific record of a table will be associated with multiple records of a other table. One customer can purchase multiple products. So the relationship between customer and multiple products. Similarly, one city belongs to single state, but one state can have multiple cities. So relationship between a state, one state and its all cities. Imagine a class teacher's scenario in your school. There can be one and only one class teacher to any class. But any class teacher definitely have many students enrolled with him. So that's why the relationship between the class teacher and a student is one to many. So I summarize. If one record of a table is associated with multiple records of another table, so this kind of the relationship is known as one to many relationship. For example, the relationship between a class teacher and the students. Here the class teacher is one, but the one class teacher is associated with many students in his class. Many to many relationship. The many to many relationship occurs in the case of some specific record which has to be stored more than once in both the tables. In our example, of modern electronic store database, we have maintained information of employees. Till now, we have assumed that an employee will hold a single designation. At the times in the organization, an employee may hold multiple designations. Thus, in this case, we can state that an employee may have multiple designations. A single designation may belongs to multiple employees. So you can see here, friends. So one employee having the many designation. So you can see the separate table that stores employee designation has to be maintained in this case. Thus, there exist many-to-many relationship between these two cities. So, if many records are associated with many other records in a table, then we can say there is a many-to-many relationship. I repeat, if many records of a table is associated with many records of other table. Now friends, we will discuss about the field properties, that is most important. Why this is most important? Because this controlled the data appearance, which kind of the data will be appeared in your table, or which type of the data you have to insert to the table. That's why this is very important to understand. Let us see. As discussed in the earlier chapter, before working with the data, we have to create a well-defined structure of a table. Well-defined structure of a table means before storing anything, we have to create database, then we have to create table. So before creating a table, we have to understand what will be entities, what will be attributes of a table, and that time we have to decide what will be the data type of this attributes, and there we have to also mention what kind of the field values you want to get for that particular field. To define a field for any table, we have to perform the following steps. First, we have to specify the field name, then we have to choose a proper data type for the field. For example, suppose you are going for storing the numericals data, so we have to take the numbers. Suppose if you want to store the only the textuals data, so we have a varchar. And the third, you can see the description, that is optional. Optional means it's not required to give, but sometimes what happens, friends, to make it more clearer, to understand very clearly, we need to mention some informations to each record or each data type. So what we do, friends, we just put description about that. So here we can say to define a field or any table, we have to perform the following steps. First, we have to define field name, then we have to define data type, and then we have to give description. Description is optional. It's not necessary to give it. I hope you all are getting this. In the field of information technology, the data is the raw materials used to produce finished goods known as information. So we know the information means the process data. Process data means suppose you have data and you are going to give such data which is required to you or required to some other. You are not going to give all records. For example, suppose you have stored the record of your class, right? If your class teacher is asking about those records which where the children are getting more than 80% marks in accounts, so you friends going to give those marks whose accounts marks are more than 80. You are not going to give all. So what you are going to do, you are going to do some process. You are going to find out those records where the marks are more than 80% in the accounts, right? So it is universal true that we cannot expect getting best without giving the better. In other words, we can say that the quality of the output obviously depends upon the quality of input. Yeah, that is most important. That's why we say garbage in, garbage out. So if you give a good input, obviously you will get the good output. But if you give a wrong input, you will get the wrong output. So the input is the most important factor. We have to decide first what will be the input. If you give a good input, then you will get the good output, right? I hope you got it. In other words, we can say that the quality of the output obviously depends upon the quality of input. If we can control and restrict the values being stored at the time of data entry, then it can be best practice to control the input data, which can generate the correct information. Let me give example, friends. When we create a form, then you can see that instead of giving the name, if you try to give a number, it doesn't accept. Another example, suppose you are going to insert a mobile number, but if you try to give less than 10, or if try to give a character instead of a number, then you will be see the message is given. This is a wrong one. So these are the field properties where some restrictions are given, where some informations are given. Accordingly, we have to according to the need of the database, we have to insert the record. So base has a very important and interesting feature called field properties. Field properties determine how the values in the field are stored and displayed. I repeat, the field properties determine how the values in the field are stored and displayed. Each type of the field has a particular set of properties. For example, in what format will the user enter the date? You can see DD, MM, YY or MM, DD, YY. Here the DD means date, MM means month, YY means year. In order date field, how should it be displayed while printing or viewing the data, and what if user enters invalid date like 12, 14, 12 for the date format DDMMY. So friends, you have to understand in which format you want to insert record and how the records will be visible. So base has a various of field properties. The first we are going to understand autofill, and the second entry required, third length, and fourth default value, and the final one format. Auto value. Let us understand the auto value. Here I have a table as student, so I'm going to open in edit mode, because in the edit we can decide this. You can see here a student ID is auto value is yes. Yes means what happened, friends? Automatically it will increase. If I give no, so it will not increase. Let me show you, friends. Here I am going to just delete this. I am going to delete and then I will insert. I am going to insert. Let me here. Let me give here GR number, right? And here I want to insert integer. So this auto value comes with integer. If I say yes, then it will take automatically some values. It will start from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, like that will go. Let me show you, friends. See, you can see this kind of the warning is coming. Why? Because the column GR number could not be changed. Should the column instead of deleted, and new format depends on it. Yes. uh, okay, so yeah, this kind of there, because already I have inserted some value, That's what it's going to ask. Primary key, let's see, then yes, and then save, and then see. These things happen. So what I have to do, before inserting, we have to do this all the things. So let me close and let me just delete this table and let me create once again. So I want to delete this and then I will create a table. Yes, I want to delete. Yes. Then go to the create table in design view, and here I will give, let me give here GR number, then integer, and auto value select yes. Then here I am going to give the name, and here I want to give here a standard, right? Now I'm going to save. And one thing I want to tell you, friends, in the GR number you can see I have a set auto value yes, and in the name I want to take. So one more field is a entry required. Entry required means if there is a compulsion to give a data, then we have to move ahead. So we have to say yes, right? And here you can see the length. What will be maximum length? So if I give here, let me give here 5 characters. So it will take only the 5 characters. It will not take more than 5 characters. Let me save. Let me show you. Here the table name. Let me give a table one only. Okay. If I close, and if I, yes, I want to close this, and if I click on this table one, and let me show you, friends, Raj standard 12, you can see here in the GR number no need to give because it's going to increase automatically. If I give here Mohan, so you can see it's going to take automatically 1. So GR number is going to increase by 1. It's a start from 0. So this is auto value. Auto value means automatically will increase a value. It will start from 0, right? I hope you got it. Now we are going to understand entry required. So here entry required means it is compulsion to insert record. If you don't give, then it will never ever give you permission to go ahead. Let us understand. Entry required. So let us understand, friends. I want to edit it, and see, you can see on the name it is given a yes. Entry required yes. If it is yes, means what will happen? Let me show you, friends. Here I am not going to give the name, just I am going to give the this standard, and you can see the error is coming. The error is coming because I have given a name to the entry required, means without giving we can't go ahead. So entry required means there is a compulsion. If you want to make on the field, it's compulsory to take a data, so we can put entry required. I hope you got it. If I give a name here, let me give here name is like Siva. Let me give, if I give a Siva here, you can see Siva is going to accepted, and now there is no any error. I hope you got it. Length decides what will be maximum character for that particular field values. Let me give you example. Suppose you are going to take a name, right? So you can decide what will be maximum character for the name. Another example, suppose you are going to store the mobile number. So you know the maximum number is 10. So you can decide over there, right? So length you can decide. Let us understand length. So let me show you, friends. So you can see for the name I have given them length is 5 character. 5 character means it will take a maximum of 5 letters. means 5 character. It doesn't take more than 5. Let me show you, friend. Here I am going to insert more than 5. Suppose I am going to give here Ram. Let me give here Radhe Shyam, and here 10th. You can see, friend, it is not going to take this. Why it is not going to take? Because you can see the Radhe Shyam. If you see the Radhe Shyam, this name, it has more than 5 characters. So if you want to set the length, how much maximum length will be occupied or stored by each field value, you can put it. I hope you got it. Default. So you can decide the default value, that is most important, where you don't want to change the value, you want to give a same value, so you can just give a default value. Or if you want to change in between, you can change also just by roughing it. So that is also important. Let us see how to do this. Default value, let's see what is default value. I'm going to just know, yeah, let me edit it. Here I want to give here city, and I want to give a default value Surat. So what will happen, friends? Automatically the default value will be Surat for each. So let me show you, friends. But you can see it is not for all. Why? The value which we have already inserted, there will be see there is no Surat city. But right now if I give, then you will be see automatically the Surat is coming. I hope you got it. Let me rough it all and then let me show you. Then you will understand. Let me delete it first. Then you will understand. Delete rows. Yes, you can see yes, I want to delete. This one also I want to delete. Yes. And this one also. Now you can see when I insert, you can see the default value is Surat. You can see Rahul and standard 10, you can see Surat is coming. If I insert again, you can see. So that is the value of default. But if you want to make changes, you can rough it and you can write it. So default value means you don't want to change the value, you want to fix the value, you want to give always you want to give the same value, or just number of same values are more. For example, number of children are more from the Surat city, so there you can put the default value. I hope you got it. Format. This field property appears with date, means you want to write date at the various style, like year first, then month, then date, or date first, month, then year. So we can decide it. So let us see how to do this. Format. Let us understand what is format. So here I am going to open this and in the edit mode, and here I want to give DOB, date of birth. I am going to take the date. So you can see when I take a date, so you will be see the format is given. So here I can change the format. So I will click on this and just a minute, friends. And you will be see the format, the various formats are given. So you can see here. So you can change the date format. Suppose I want to insert the record in this format. You can see, right? You can see here year first, then month, then DD. So you can set it okay. And let me show you one more time here, friends. If I close and if I insert, so it will take year first, 2020. Let me give here, not given, 1998, and see. I'm giving a 19, 19, 19, 8, then 5, then 0, 1. You can see. So we can change the format. I hope you got it. Thank you friends for watching this. We'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye. See you. Take care.